regime. And a lot of this criticism is obviously aimed at Deliveroo. You've named the law after Deliveroo, or the possible law anyway. Would you rather if people didn't use Deliveroo and gig economy services like that, and do you use them yourself?
In terms of do I use them, would we ask other people not to use them? That's not relevant here, right? Here's the really relevant thing. We want people creating jobs in this country. We want people to create businesses in this country. We want people to start startups like Deliveroo in this country. We want multinational companies like Uber to come to Britain and to succeed. However, there is a bright red line on everything I've just said, which is hiring illegal migrants, and in some cases at industrial scale. I want to reiterate to you, the official data from an enforcement action found north of 40%. 40% of them were found to be working illegally, right? Not 4%, 40. The notion that these executives and these directors would be unaware of this, or incapable of stopping it, to respond to, the part about enforcement. I mean, Deliveroo pitches itself as a technology company. It's more than capable of stopping it. The fact of the matter is, as I said in my speech, for a lot of these companies, and it isn't just Deliveroo, a lot of these companies, they see whatever fines they may get, whatever negative attention they might get for doing it, as a minor inconvenience and a small cost of doing business. So yes, if people want to enjoy those services, great. If those companies want to come here and expand, or people want to start startups in those areas, great. Do not commit immigration fraud. That's our message. And in terms of incremental, quote, red tape, as Richard and as Rob have talked about a lot, as has Nigel, you're going to see probably the biggest reduction in red tape, in particularly for small and medium-sized businesses in this country, under reform government within the space of months. But again, I draw a bright red line here. One area where, yes, we are going to increase the level of scrutiny and make sure that you are compliant without exception, is immigration law, in no small part because that's exactly, if reform win the next general election, it would have been won with a mandate such as that.
Reform have talked in the past about removing red tape and paperwork, things like that for businesses to allow them to hire. What extra checks and documentations would businesses of all size need to do to make sure that they were legit, essentially, and avoid these draconian fines under this tighter regime? And a lot of this criticism is obviously aimed at Deliveroo. You've named the law after Deliveroo, or the possible law anyway. Would you rather if people didn't use Deliveroo and gig economy services like that, and do you use them yourself?
In terms of